hello, and welcome to Lunchtime with Dr. Nadine. Today, I am delighted. I have a special guest joining me all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I don't know if you guys know it, but I lived in Trinidad for 8 years. I studied and worked there. But Trinidad is very near and dear to my heart. And so I'm so excited to be welcoming our guest, Ayeisha from Trinidad.
Thank
Well,
you for having me, Dr. Collins.
yes, Aisha, tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself, your background, and so on, as we get into this amazing interview about your journey, your story, your transformation, and the work that you believe that God has called you to do as a result of all of these.
So I was born and raised in Trinidad, and I am a mother of four children, beautiful children, four toddlers to be exact, and my last two were twins. I am finally walking in my purpose, and I'm so grateful for Dr. Collins' Runway to Soar program, which helped me to discover that.
Okay, now you probably need to reintroduce yourself because from module one, we would have learned that the roles that you play are not necessarily who Aisha is, right? So tell us about
Yeah.
Aisha.
Yes. So I am quite enthusiastic. I'm a visionary person and I'm very strategic when it comes to planning and stuff like that. So what I have found during this season of my life, I would have discovered these things in my tool bag that I did not know was there. So it was finally an awesome experience, I should say, very liberating, very empowering, to finally discover who I am and explore all that I have inside of me. And I
Beautiful.
love me.
I love it. Beautiful. I'm so excited for you because when we were in the studio in the back and I was asking how you're doing, you're like, I feel good from the inside and it's
Yes,
amazing. So tell our viewers.
inside out.
But I wish
Yes,
it's so beautiful to see you beaming today. It's so beautiful to see you, so excited about life, to see you smiling, to feel that you love you from the inside out. But it wasn't always like that for you. So take us on that journey of
mm,
where you were when you came into this Runway to Soar program in April, because I know what I remember about that, but I would like you to tell our viewers, where were you? You were not at that place that you are now, but where were you? And we'll talk about your journey today of getting to that place where you love you from the inside out and you feel so excited about life.
yes. So in the latter part of 2019, to be exact, I would have almost taken my life. It was a very uh what you call it, pressing time in my life. You there's sometimes postpartum depression, and sometimes when you constantly lose things after putting your all into it, and you give your all to everything, and you still find that you are not getting ahead. You are still being pushed back, and there's a constant, blockage and stuff. So I found myself losing hope. And
Okay,
when you lose hope, you find yourself in a really dark place,
true.
right? But the thing is, I love the word of God and I live the word of God. I love God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone close to me knows that I love God,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I love people too. So the thing about it is, I would have also these same things that seem to be positive was now used as a negative,
Okay.
in that the word was often used on many occasions to manipulate me,
Okay.
or we call it in psychology spiritual abuse, where persons in your circle, or the enemy and all, when he approached Jesus in temptation, he would have used the same word to, tempt Jesus and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So some may even call it indoctrination, right? So I found myself being in that place, with the fact that I love God.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do not know what love is in its authenticity, when you don't know what love is originally, you
Mm-hmm.
find that you have a distorted view of love,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then instead of seeing Christ as a gentle, loving Savior, you now see him as a slave master. So you love him, but you don't see him with kindness or gentleness or tenderness. When you fall, you beat on yourself because you think he's beating on you too, right? And then when you love people, I found that when you love people, it could be a good thing and a bad thing if you don't have healthy boundaries.
Okay.
And I did not have boundaries. So then I found myself being frustrated and exhausted because some persons in your circle just suck life from you, just take everything, and there's no pouring back in. So this is how, in a nutshell, I ended up at rock bottom. But thank God, my rock is Christ Jesus. So he mend me back again, mold me back. And I remember being in that place and I was like, what did you create me for? What is my purpose? Why am I here? And it's so, listen, this was God ordained. It so happened, I joined your Wow Woman Empowerment and Leadership group the same time, and you had the Wow Life Challenge.
Right.
And it was not even like I was just like, if anyone knows about depression, it's like you're just going through a motion. So it wasn't like I wanted to be there. It was just like, okay, let me just go through this thing. And it so happened that I won the opportunity to be in the Runway to Soar program. And it's there where I experienced a new thing in my life.
Now, I'm happy you're at that place because I remember you taking part in the challenge, the Wildlife Challenge, and it was really for the top 10 people who were most engaged. And you were one of these top 10 people. Now you're saying you were just going through the motion, even though you were not really into it. You won that opportunity to be in the Runway to Soar Coaching Experience Beta program.
That's right.
And I remember the first day you showed up, cameras off.
That's correct.
So here were all of the other ladies on camera, 9 or 10 of us, and this person, Ayeisha McQueen, on the Zoom call in the coaching experience, no camera. So I allowed it to happen because I kind of felt that there was some weight on her end. I wrote her a message later to tell her, you need to show up tomorrow on camera. We need to see you.
That's correct. Yes.
The next day, she showed up in the session, lying down in her bed. I allowed her to go through that. I sent her a message later and I said, tomorrow, you need to dress and sit up while you're in the session.
That's correct.
So it was a literal process, not even knowing where she was, but taking her from off camera to camera under her bed sheets in the coaching session to finding herself dressed now. Before we were done, by the time we finished, she was dressed up in her bright colors. By the time the coaching experience was done, there was a totally different woman. It was not the same woman that showed up, session one, with a camera off and the second day undercover. So Ayeisha, what was that journey like for you going through the coaching experience, and how did it help with that transformation? You can take the first part because that's a big one. What was it like for you going through it from off camera to on camera under your bedsheet to now taking these small steps to get you to a place where you could show up in your bright yellow shirt?
So firstly, I think it would have been the would have been the third day, where we would have been dealing with our hindrances.
Day one, you showing up without the camera. What's happening here? What's happening?
Day one.
From day one.
Day one, I'm like, okay, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just like, let me just see. I'm just expecting another disappointment. That was my end result in my head. This is going to be another just normal little, hoo babaloo. Nothing expected, right? And I just, as I said, go through the motion. But you were very, oh my gosh, I thank you so much for that, Dr. Collins. You were very persistent and insisting in me, listen, and I love your tone and everything, you came with a little push, which was necessary. to bring me out of that. Day two, I was yes, lying down because again, I'm just
You're on
going through emotion.
camera. But something happened
I'm
from
just
day one. You move from no cameras. Day two, tell us about day two. You showing up under the bed sheets now.
yes, day two. I was laying in bed because that is what depressed people do usually.
Yes.
Stay in bed all day, fatigue, all these things I'm going through. And
Mm-hmm.
still the thoughts in my head, it was like another normal um thing that is not going to do anything for me, right? And then day three was the day we dealt with our hindrances and that mental glass ceiling. Boom! It exploded. Everything. It was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm dealing with here, and it just broke down. And you had us writing out everything, and I just saw my whole self. And it revealed to me what I needed to work on and what I needed to do. And that is where the breakthrough. I realized that
Okay, she may be having just a little bit of a technical challenge there, probably a Wi-Fi challenge. But in the meantime, yes. So I will just tell you a little bit about Ayeisha until she can come back in. Is that she was having, well, going through that depressed moment in her life, me not knowing anything, but having her in the program and every day giving her that little push, not even understanding that this person is depressed. The fact that she didn't show up like on camera the first day was an indication to me, okay, something wasn't really correct. Then she showed up in bed. I knew something wasn't right, but I was just giving her these gentle pushes behind the scenes, just sending her messages and so on. And like she said, from day three, things began to change for her in that third session when she realized all of the mental things that she was dealing with, that the mental blocks, the indoctrinations, the barriers, and all of the things that had been preventing her from being able to step into that true purpose. And so she went through a great transformation. By the time we had that fifth coaching session, it was a totally different woman. And I would like for her to tell you herself. I'm not sure what exactly is happening there on her end. I'll just check my phone just to see if she's sending me a message to see what's going on. And so Ayeisha was able to experience that from being suicidal, from being depressed, from having thoughts about her not having a true purpose, having thoughts about her not being able to, make a difference in the lives of others because she thought that her life itself was worthless. But as she went through the Runway to Soul coaching experience, Ayeisha was able to rediscover herself in a sense because the woman that we saw earlier there on screen is not the same woman that I met in April when she came into that program. She has almost like she has a new lease on life. And I remember when I gave them the challenge to go online and to do their first live, and Ayeisha did hers, the feedback was amazing. And not only that, but she went on to do a photo shoot. Somebody who didn't want to live, who didn't care about living, all of a sudden now everything changed for her. She had this passion and enjoyment for life. And so I'm waiting for her to come back in studio. I saw that she got out, maybe because of the internet challenges. But the truth is, a lot of times as women, we do not know what our true purpose is, or we have an idea that we have one, but we begin to question whether or not that true purpose actually exists and if that purpose actually matters to the world. Ayeisha, I realize we lost you there for a little bit, so you can continue your
I'm
story.
sorry.
That's okay.
Um, where did I stop?
So you were
I'm
on that
sorry.
third day when the mental glass ceiling broke, when you began to see everything for what it was, the indoctrinations, the barriers, the mental thought processes, and all of these things that you realize were now
Yes.
your reality and how to deal with it. So you can continue from there.
Yes. Yes. So after writing it down, I started planning how I would get out of this because I don't want to stay there. I don't want to be this person. I am for the rest of my life. I need to leave something behind, right?
Yes.
So this is what caused me to put strategies in place, systems in place for me to get out of depression. And it worked. It worked so much that I listen, I'm at the best place of my life.
I am so excited for you. So we're gonna pause from there and tell me,
Yes.
what would you say? Because I want us to come to the best place in your life right now. Because Nelsie yesterday was able to say this year has been the best year of her life as a result of going through that program. For you, you're in the best place in your life because of that program.
Yes.
What would you say
Yes.
is the greatest transformation that you experience, or the greatest wow moment? I don't say aha moment. You know, I'm all about the wow life. That greatest wow moment for you in the program, because we dealt with fear, we dealt with mindset, we looked at you inside, digging up your past, digging up your roots, looking at your the core of who you are and your beliefs and all of the indoctrinations. We did a lot of stuff. What was the wow moment?
Yes.
Was it that glass ceiling, or were there other moments? And what did that do for you to help you be in the position that you're in right now?
So it was that the glass ceiling, but looking in my toolbox also and discovering me for who I am. It
Okay.
wasn't any longer person saying I should this and I should that and I should the other. It was me searching my whole self and
Right,
finding out my authentic self and
right,
loving my authentic self. So
beautiful.
that is what caused me to bring this whole feeling of liberation, this whole feeling of empowerment from inside out, because I'm free inside, so now I could be free outside. You understand?
Totally. So, what
Yes.
gave you that freedom? Was it that day when you came to realize what was the thing that happened in the runway to saw that caused you to experience that freedom? Because the thing is, it's always my goal, and it still is my goal, for more Christian women to experience that type of freedom, the freedom to be me without apology. Because, like, I don't even understand. I cannot be the fake. I cannot live the fake life because I just love being me. And that is what I
Yes.
pass on to every single one of my clients. Just
Yes.
being authentically you. What was it that
Yes.
switched, that made you realize you didn't have to pretend anymore? You just could be Ayeisha unapologetically.
Um, what would have caused that? I'm not sure what was the exact moment,
Mhm.
because we would have had other programs after that also helped us,
That's true.
right? Even the fear program that would
Right.
have helped us discovering
Oh,
exactly which
yeah.
fear. Yes,
Mm.
right. And sometimes when you don't know your purpose, you find yourself in a system of abuse, not
Mm.
necessarily abuse
Mhm.
from like domestic physical abuse, but I'm speaking about you put yourself in circles with toxic persons. You put yourself around persons who do not drive you to your purpose,
Mhm.
who's not on the same mission with you. And you
Mhm.
find yourself now, because you love people, you start to become a people pleaser, right?
Mhm.
And you move away from your authentic self. So
Right.
this is what caused me to be somewhat in bondage, because you want not people to like you so much, but you just love people, so you just try to please people. And that's what caused me in particular to be in bondage. But
Mhm.
letting go
Right.
and becoming my authentic self, it actually surround the persons that was necessary to build me up and
Yeah.
for me to become better.
Mhm.
Those were the persons I was now surrounded by. So this was that moment for me,
Mhm.
just uh finding out exactly what was the root cause of me being this way
Mhm. Right.
and
Right.
dealing with it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I think a lot of women, we find ourselves, especially, I mean, Christian people, find ourselves
Yeah.
being in positions where we're not open to being our true self because we're afraid of being judged, because,
Yeah.
we try to hide. It's ironic. I'm so sad now everybody wearing masks, because I remember before when I used to preach, I would make an analogy about how we come to church wearing masks. The real person doesn't
Yeah.
show. And now we all wearing
Yeah.
masks. I don't have to think of something else. crisis. But the thing is, a lot of us are walking around with these masks on our face, not now because of
Yeah.
COVID, but in general, because we're not comfortable to be who we are because we're afraid we won't be accepted, we'll be judged, we'll be this, we'll be that, and we fail to live our authentic selves. Now, I'm
Yeah.
happy that you got to that point because I think when you dug into who am I and when you dealt with indoctrinations and so on and the fears, and you realize maybe some of my fears were rooted in this particular situation because I was afraid of being rejected, and so now
Yeah.
I'm going to have to take hold of this. Let me take hold of me and live it alone. And if I'm rejected, it's fine because now I'm going to be
Yeah.
surrounded by the right people. Because
That's
now your mindset was shifting, which means the
yes.
people in your life will also shift
Had to
because
shift. Yes.
you're surrounding yourself with like-minded women, for example.
That's correct. Yes, that's correct.
I'm excited to see the sisterhood that continues to form in the Runway to Talk coaching among you ladies, just seeing the
Yeah.
interaction and the support that you ladies give each other and so on. Now, the thing is, Sunday coming, December 20th, we actually have the Pregnant with Purpose virtual event. Now, the Pregnant with Purpose event is one to help women to uncover their true purpose, or to have a clear understanding of how they can uncover that true purpose to go into 2021, a kind of like a different mindset woman. What would you say to a lady
Yes.
right listening who's wondering if this program right for me? It's a 2 hour event, but a 2 hour event that will transform her life. But she will be wondering. So you're talking about your transformation through the One Way to Soul, but from your interactions and all of the different programs that you have attended that I have done, what would you say to that woman who wants to uncover that true purpose and who's on that journey to finding freedom to be herself and to live her authentic life?
I really want to speak to mothers, especially because I find that we usually get ourselves in a place where we give to everyone else and we
Uh-huh.
do nothing for ourselves. So I
Mm,
want to encourage mothers.
yeah.
I know you probably would have given birth already and you understand what it is to be pregnant. But when you give birth to your purpose, it doesn't feel like work. You don't feel exhausted. There's no morning sickness or Monday blues because you're getting up
But
to
sometimes
something that you enjoy
that's
doing. You
true.
love it. It
But
is so empowering.
Aisha, that's true.
Yeah,
But giving
it
birth to
is.
a kid is also a process and it's painful sometimes because you have
Yes,
to let go of certain things. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to go through some mental
exactly.
stuff. So there's also work. We don't want to give the ladies the idea that it's going to be a smooth sailing ride because your
No,
journey of liberation had to,
it wasn't.
you had to make some sacrifices. You had to make some
That's
changes.
correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So what would you
That's
say
correct.
to that mother?
Pardon?
What would you continue to say to that mother? You were telling her about she may have given birth to a child, but now giving birth to a purpose is going to bring her to that place of enjoyment and so on. What else can you say to that lady?
Yes, I want to encourage her also to do something for her, to do
Okay.
something that will empower her and she will enjoy for herself and not for anyone else, as in doing it for mommy and daddy or doing it for your husband or doing it for your children.
Mm,
Doing something for yourself, it's sort of like self-love. And when you get to that place where you love
mm,
yourself enough, you find that what you pour out into others is actually much more satisfying and tasteful to them than if you are doing something out of resentment.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Aisha, listen, somebody maybe who knew you in January 2020 or February and hear you now would be like, who's this woman? Because
Yeah.
you have reached that place of self-love and now
I
you're
am.
beaming because
Yes.
you realize that you are enough and you are more than enough.
My sister told me last week that she loves the new me. And I love the new me too.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy. Praise the Lord.
Yes.
You have some comments here. We have Jessel. That's one of our Runway to Soul ladies in Tobago. She said, wow, great, powerful. She says, I love to see this transformation. God is amazing. Your testimony is powerful. It is an encouragement. God's blessings to you. Donna, another Runway to Soul sister, is saying, congratulations, Ayeisha. We have pregnant Geralda cheering you on. You know, when you talk about giving birth to the babies and the real purpose, she was like, whoop, whoop, right? Jackie saying, speak truth, Ayeisha. Ayeisha, look at you. And of course, she would know, look at you, because she was there.
Yes.
We have
She was there.
she was there. We have Claudia here in the UK. You remember Claudia? Claudia is saying, encourage it.
Yes.
All your Runway to Source sisters are cheering you on. They are excited about your
Thank you, guys.
they're excited about your transformation. They're seeing the new you because they
Yes.
encountered the Ayeisha of old. So, Ayeisha,
Yes.
what is next for you? You found your self love. You're beaming now. You love you from the inside out, and others around you are seeing your glow because now you don't have that mentally constructed glass ceiling anymore. You have broken through the indoctrinations and the fears that used to bind you. You
Yes.
are a liberated woman. That is exactly what I
Yes.
do for every woman I come into contact with, to be fully liberated to live the life that God is calling her to live. What's next for you after all of that stuff?
My next big thing would be actually we would officially be launching my Facebook page for my business,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be Monarchy Ministries,
Mm-hmm.
where we would be introducing the team that is with the well. Remember, you told us the dream so big that it scares us. So,
Right. Tell me about that dream,
so,
girl.
so I did that, and it was actually a lot for a mother to handle. So I had some persons joining me, and the incorporation of them. Listen, it's just mind blowing. So
Wow.
on January the 31st, you all could save the date. We will be launching officially Monarchy Ministries. And within it, because of COVID, I would have had a lot of women coming to me with depression and anxiety. And sometimes they don't want to speak about it in the forum that was previously created. So I am creating a confidential, women's confidential circle
Mhm.
where you can express yourself anonymously to get, whatever is you out of,
Mhm.
you know, that place of hurt and stuff. So
Wow.
those are the next two big things. I'm literally going into public speaking also and getting my life coach certificate. Yeah.
Yeah. Go, girl.
So
Wow.
that's me, yeah.
A lot is happening there for you. We are so excited for your journey. Geralda
Yeah,
is saying you are glowing and shining, beautiful.
thank you.
Sisters are cheering you on. And the thing is, the beautiful thing is when others can see the change, when others can see who you used to be to who you are now, when you found you and your true purpose. And ladies
Yes,
who are listening, that is my desire for every single one of you, to be able to uncover your true purpose so that it can give you new life, because that's essentially what happened with Ayeisha.
yes.
Found new
It was
life because
new.
the life she used to live, she felt like she could die living it because it was unfulfilling. She didn't know what her
Yes,
purpose was, and she would have rather been dead. But God has saved her life, and she's
yes,
here. And now she had that opportunity for a life transforming event that changed everything for her. Now she's a new woman. If you knew her before, if you saw her pictures before Runway to Soar and the pictures after, it's not the same girl. The glow is
not
different, the smile is different, everything. We have another Runway to Soar sister from Trinidad as well. Naima Kojo, she says, amazing story, powerful woman of God. Another Facebook user
thank
said, powerful. So, Ayeisha, I am excited for you and Manaki Ministries. I'm excited for the work that God will do through you as you work
yes,
with women who are experiencing depression, who may be suicidal, who are also contemplating on what you're supposed to do and stuff like that. And I want you to stay focused on that work that God has called you to do. And that's why a lot of times
Thank
when
you.
you go through experiences, and I would have said that when you were in the program, that a lot of times
Yes.
the hard stuff that we experience is the platform for us to be able to
Yes.
operate successfully. And in your case, that's it. And I'm so
That's
excited.
it.
What would you say, finally, what's your last words to the ladies? As I want to invite every single woman listening right now, if you know there is a woman in your life who needs to be pushed into knowing what her purpose is, into living a life that is focused on purpose, you wanted to register for the Pregnant with Purpose event on Sunday, December 20th. It's happening. You have 3 days to register. The program is on Sunday. We have Thursday, Friday, Saturday to register. You could register at www.pregnantwithpurpose.me. I am sure that there are women in your life right now who will benefit from being at such an event. And I want you to just encourage them to attend, invite them to attend. That's pregnantwithpurpose.me, not .com, pregnantwithpurpose.me. And so, what would be your final words to ladies right now, Ayeisha?
To in order to experience true liberation, you really need to find your purpose. And
Mhm.
that's the only way you would actually find meaning to live in. So I encourage you to get on board um, for the Pregnant with Purpose program.
Yeah. Thank you, Ayeisha.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing to
Thank
have
you for
you.
having me.
It has been a pleasure working with you. It's an honor, literally an honor, an
Yes.
undeserving honor to be able to
Yes.
have been the midwife to you, helping you to give
Thank
birth to
you.
because I am fully humbled that God would choose me to be the midwife to women all over the world. I've never gone
Yes.
to nursing school, but I can still say I'm a midwife because I help women give birth to their true purpose, and it is a beautiful privilege. I'm so
Thank
excited.
you.
Verena says, congratulations, keep soaring. Janice says, true. Janice, one of your runway to soar sisters, they're in Canada as well. And so, ladies, you have heard it from her mouth, not the horse's mouth,
Yes.
the woman's mouth. You've heard you see her glow. You've heard a little bit about her transformation, a little bit about her story, a little bit about her journey. And if God can do that for Ayeisha, I am certain
Yes.
that every single one of you ladies listening out there, God has an amazing purpose for you. You need to spend time knowing what it is. That's why the pregnancy
Yes.
event is for you. And we are inviting you to join www.pregnantwithpurpose.me so that you can begin
Yes.
to live authentically, live a liberated life when you know what your true purpose is. So,
Yes.
bless you, ladies. Ayeisha,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much again. And ladies, join us
Thank you.
tomorrow where we have
Yes.
one other lady this week, our final lunchtime series for the year 2020. Our last guest will be joining us from the UK. You also want to be first tomorrow. God bless you. Bye bye. Ayeisha, you could say bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye, everyone. See you tomorrow. Oh my God.